Hey everybody, it's Rockula, and welcome back to Rockula Retrospective. Looks like we're about a week away from the restart of The Walking Dead Season 5, and at the beginning of the break, I did a tag video, which you can watch here, and it was basically a set of questions about what you thought was going to happen, what your opinions on so far what's going on in Season 5. And I also invited people to make up their own questions, and that's what some friends of mine over in Los Lobos Negros did, and they did their tag video here, and you can watch that, and they posed a couple of questions, so I'm going to answer those questions, and after that I'm going to tell you about all the great things that are happening on Rockula Retrospective, including these videos here, which are mashups. But let's get into the first question that they posed, and it is about the subject of eating flesh. Now, in the tag video, I asked the question, if you ate someone's infected meat like Bob, we never found out that if Gareth and company were going to turn. So my question is, if you ate somebody's flesh that was infected, would you turn? So what they did is they provided a new twist on it and considered their own question to be, first of all, would it affect you if you ate walker flesh? And two, would it make you turn? Would it kill you? And then two, if we do find out that walker flesh isn't fatal, would you eat walker flesh? So the first part of that new twist question boomerang thing is, what effect would eating walker flesh have on you? Well, I first want to establish that I believe that I'm in the minority that thinks that you could possibly turn if you ate some human's flesh that had been infected, because I think that there's two stages of infection. I think there's the one infection that's dormant, and then I think that there's active infection. So the whole point is that if you eat the flesh off of somebody that's alive, it still has dormant zombie virus or walker virus in it. But, that being established, if you want to go the other direction and start talking about eating walker meat, if you go over to Z Nation, and I did a review of this, I haven't done a review of this episode yet, but there are people that are cannibals, and they talk about eating zombie flesh before they went to human flesh. So my whole thing is that zombie flesh is rotten flesh. The end. Unless you eat somebody that just turned, I think that if you eat a walking, rotting human, skeleton with flesh hanging off of it, you're going to get sick and die. Whether it actually turns you or not, that's where we're going to have to figure out the question of stages of virulency, because would it be the rotten walker flesh that killed you, or would it be the virus because it's active in that flesh? So my quick and the end of this answer is, one, I think that you could turn if you ate a human that was alive that was infected because it's a virulent infection. Two, I think that you would turn if you ate walker flesh because that's also an active virulent effect. And three, I think you would die from eating rotten walker flesh in the first place. But if you just want to entertain the last part of that question, and that is, if you found out that walker flesh didn't kill you, would you still eat it? And my answer is, I would have to be pretty damn hungry to eat walker flesh, because I just, I don't think I could do it. So, yeah, I guess if I had a choice of dying or eating walker flesh, I'd take it, but it'd be my last resort. The second question is regarding the development of Gabriel. Now, at first I thought we would find out more about Gabriel in the coming season, but I start to remember, wait a second, I thought that Terminus, Gareth and the Terminus guys were going to be more prevalent in the episode, and we were going to get flashbacks. and it's possible that we're going to learn more about Gabriel's past, but you know, they could just off him like in one episode, and you know, so it's hard to tell which way Gabriel is going to go right now. He's going to have to pull off something really spectacular to gain the trust of not only the group, but the viewers. I don't know if that really matters, of course, but, you know, he's just going to have to do something really spectacular and heroic in order to convince me that he's, you know, worth sticking around. But I'll tell you this, if he doesn't stick around, it ain't going to break my heart. So the third question from Los Lobos Negros was, is there anything in DC? And I want to preface this answer with the prediction that I made in the, the Season 5, Episode 8 weekend re-review. And you can watch that here. And basically, I think that what's going to happen is that Rick's group is... They've already talked about in the coming attractions and the previews that they're going to have some kind of a discord within the group where some people are saying we need to find some normalcy, and Rick is saying this is what we do, this is how we survive. But let's go back to Noah talking to Beth in the hospital, and he said he was from Richmond, Virginia, and that there were strong walls in Richmond, Virginia. Now also, let's talk about Morgan. Morgan comes in, finds the maps saying that, you know, hey, we're headed to DC and we need Rick Grimes to go to DC. So I think Morgan is going to head to DC and the gang is going to head to Richmond, and they're going to meet up at the same time because they're going to be on the same highway. Now I explain it way more in the re-review because I provide maps and I talk about all the direct routes and everything, but that's what I predict is going to happen, is that Morgan and Rick's group are going to meet on the way to Richmond. And that also doubles down on my other prediction that Noah and Morgan are related. Morgan is Noah's uncle. So is there anything in DC? Well, of course there's something in DC because it probably has to be one of the most fortified places on Earth other than maybe like NORAD. You can bet your ass there's no zombies in NORAD right now. But in DC, I'm not saying that Washington, D.C. on the surface is going to be anything peachy, but, you know, underground, all those bunkers underground, and as soon as any kind of civil unrest starts to happen, which is exactly what a Walker breakout is civil unrest, then they start sequestering people in safe zones and getting them down into those tunnels. So I think that there is a whole substructure in DC. Whether or not they get to DC is another question, but I think, yeah, there's a ton of stuff in DC, and the question is, one, will they make it there? And two, if they do make it there, will they be welcome or will they be told to turn around and get the hell out? So yeah, those are the three questions from Los Lobos Negros, and let's talk a little bit about what's coming up after the mid-season break. If you see right here in the background, I've been working on a mashup, insane glitch mashup of each episode so far in season 5. And I've been working on them really hard to get them past the YouTube copy-wrong censor bots. But by next week, I should have all 8 mashups posted. And let's see, I've got this tag video thing going on. And then we're going to go back into the rest of season 5. Me and Meat Pie have been doing Z Nation reviews. He's been having some, work overtime, so he can't come out as much. So we're going to try to pick that up as much as possible, but the main focus is going to go back on The Walking Dead. So I look forward to seeing all you guys out there in the rest of season 5 of The Walking Dead. I'm Rockula, and this is Rockula Retrospective.